So NordicTrack just dropped off my replacement X11i here, and this box is friggin' massive. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and today I've got a bit of a rant video for you. We are back in the pain cave, and if you look behind me, you might notice something's a little different. I've got two treadmills, two NordicTrack X11i's, and it's a pretty long story to talk about how we got to this point. If you go back on my channel, you'll find a review video for the NordicTrack X11i, which is this treadmill behind me. I go through all the features on the treadmill and what they do, the pros and cons, and all that stuff. I'll link that video up here if you're interested in watching that. I also identify a couple of issues in that video that we'll talk about a little bit in this video as well. So in that video, I talk about how my treadmill vibrated really bad. It rattled like crazy. There's definitely a design issue with this treadmill. If you get up to a higher speed and you're a lighter runner like me, when you hit that treadmill, it bounces back up. What I think it is some backlash in the motor that lifts up the deck of the treadmill when you go up to different elevations. That sound is what I hear when I'm running, but it's not just the sound. The whole treadmill actually violently vibrates to the point where my kids are scared of it and my wife won't be near it. It's just super loud. Everyone has to leave the room, and it feels really uncomfortable to run on because you don't know where the deck is going to be when your foot hits the ground. Basically, I can't use this treadmill beyond 9 miles per hour before that problem kicks in. So I explained this issue to NordicTrack over the phone several times, and they basically just told me, this is normal, this is the way it is, but it can't be normal. It drove me insane. Basically, they brushed it under the rug. They told me it wasn't an issue. I know it's an issue, but they kept telling me it's normal, so there was nothing they could do about it. I kind of swallowed my pride there and just kept moving on. Basically, I told myself I'll just run on it below 9 miles per hour, and I'll use the incline to get my heart rate up, and I'll just use it in that capacity for now until I can figure out a better solution. But that's about when I went to use the treadmill one day and the motor wouldn't turn on. I couldn't get the belt to move at all. Basically, it would get to the workout screen, it would show me working out, the distance and everything, but the motor wouldn't turn on, the belt wouldn't move, no distance would be acquired, basically nothing would happen. So I called NordicTrack yet again to see what I could do about this issue with the motor not turning on, because I did buy the extended warranty on this treadmill when I purchased it, and they told me that the motor control board was probably fried and that they had to send me a new one. But I said, okay, whatever, send me the part, I'll fix it, and we'll be back up and running at least. So 2 weeks went by, nothing showed up in the mail. 3 weeks went by, nothing showed up in the mail. 4 weeks went by, a month went by, nothing showed up in the mail. That's when I called NordicTrack again to see what was going on. Basically, they told me this part was back ordered for a long period of time. It could be 6 months, it could be a year. Basically, they didn't know when that part was coming in. And in the meantime, my treadmill just simply didn't work. My 5-month-old treadmill that I just got is a paperweight. It doesn't do anything at this point. And they don't know when they'll have the part for me to be able to fix it. So at this point, I did get a little agitated. I became a little heated, and I tried to apply pressure to them to resolve the situation in some way. I asked if they could take this part off of another treadmill and mail me that. And that's what they told me they could do. They called it like a strip request or something, where they could take the part off a new treadmill. So a week later, I contacted them again because I had heard back nothing about the strip request, about the new part coming in the mail. So at this point, my frustration is pretty high, and they agreed to send me a whole new treadmill, to replace the whole thing with a brand new treadmill. That seemed kind of excessive for a little part that I could replace myself. They're gonna send me a whole new treadmill, but whatever. Yeah, let's do it. Let's replace the whole treadmill. So I agreed to have the treadmill replaced, and they told me that whatever I paid for up front, including the extended warranty, delivery service, all that stuff would be covered in this new treadmill. Would be the exact same thing, just a total replacement. That was okay with me. I think that's better for everybody involved at this point. Anyways, fast forward a couple of days, and the new treadmill arrives in a big white truck in front of my house. Some guys get out of this truck and they ask where I want the treadmill. I told them in my living room. That'd be great. However, due to the virus going on right now, their drivers are not allowed to come into your house. So they left this giant box on my porch and told me that I was responsible for getting it in the house and assembled. Let me just back up. This box was so big. It's the size of a small car, basically. All right, so NordicTrack just dropped off this monster box in my backyard. And now I have to find a way to get this in there. I'm a 150-pound dude. I can't move this thing by myself. So here's me and my wife. She's like 105 pounds. I'm like 150 pounds, trying to move this monstrosity of a treadmill into the house without killing ourselves. About an hour later, I finally managed to get it out of the box and in the house. However, I was left with this mountain of trash in the backyard, including a full wooden pallet, all the styrofoam, cardboard, all this stuff. I don't even know how I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna have to call like a junk company to come get it. It's a lot of trash that came from this. Now here's the kicker though. They left the old treadmill. I asked what they were gonna do and they told me they weren't allowed to come in the house and that they weren't responsible for taking the old treadmill. It was another company that's supposed to take the old treadmill. No one explained this to me up front. So I called NordicTrack yet again, one final time, to try to straighten out what's going on here, what's going on with this old treadmill, because let me tell you, it's taking up a little bit of room in the house here. And now they tell me that it could take 4 to 6 weeks to have the old treadmill picked up. In the meantime, it's just taking up a huge amount of space in my house. So basically, I told them I'm going to leave it out in the rain in my front yard and they can pick it up whenever they want. Now let's back up one more time. Every phone call I've made to customer service has taken over an hour to get to somebody. Every single time. It doesn't matter if you call in the morning, at lunchtime, at night. Whenever you call, I've been on hold for over an hour every time. Today it was 1 hour and 35 minutes before I got to talk to somebody. The customer service representatives are pretty good and they seem eager to help, but they seem like they're limited in what they can do and how much information they have. And in the meantime, I'm waiting for somebody to pick this thing up and I have no idea when they're gonna take it. So at the end of the day, would I buy a NordicTrack again? No. And I suggest you don't either. This company is a real pain in the butt to deal with, and I've had nothing but a headache ever since I bought this treadmill. I've had issues with it from day one. The vibration, the motor control board going bad, the lack of documentation with how the thing actually works and how to access Bluetooth connections and all that stuff. It's just not well spelled out. In the company itself, while they do have some customer service reps that are good, it's impossible to get in touch with somebody when you need them. I wanted to invest in a really nice treadmill. I spent over $2,000 on this machine. And I wanted to know that my money was going towards something that was well thought out and executed into a company that would support me when I needed it. I just don't feel like I'm getting that from NordicTrack. Oh yeah, and that rattling problem I talked about before, it's still present on this new machine. It's the exact same thing. It might actually be a little bit worse. So yeah, I'm only making this video to try to save you and your hard-earned money from making the same mistake I did by investing in one of these machines. Do not buy a NordicTrack X11i or any of the incline trainers because they seem to have problems all over them and you can't get the support when you need it. I'm getting nothing out of this video. I'm just trying to help you guys. That's all I got for today. I'm still sweaty from setting this thing up, so I'm probably gonna go take a shower now. I hope you found some value in this video and I'll see you in the next one.